Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
That's a good way.
7 o'clock.
Okay, wake up, everybody.
Yep, here we go. 7 o'clock. Welcome to the Exeter Historic District Commission. I'm Kevin Kahn, Vice Chair. Our chair won't be with us today, so I'll be running the meeting, and I think we'll start with introduction of our commission members. We'll start down.
Gwen English, and I'm a planning board rep.
Julie Gilman, the select board rep.
I'm Pam Juddum, and I'm on the Heritage as well as Historic District.
I'm E.C. Heath, and I'm a new member.
Okay.
Be kind, this is first meeting.
Yes.
So we will move on to new business, and the first topic for discussion is tax map parcel 73-302, HDC case number 23-4. It's an application of Braden Tusher for an amendment to a previously approved application for revisions to the proposed new construction of a two-car garage with living space above the property at 87 Front Street. Is there anybody here?
And we do have a letter. I think did you get that one?
I don't think I did, but I will read it into the record. To whom it may concerns, this notice is to confirm that I, Braden Tusker, the applicant for historical review for the project located at 87 Front Street in Exeter, New Hampshire, authorizes the general contractor for the project, Tyler Palmer, to represent the project in my stead at the hearing on April 18th 2024. I am unable to be present at the hearing for medical reasons. Okay. So, Mr. Palmer?
Yeah.
Please come up. Yep. It's your turn to present.
I have no idea what this is. I've never done anything like this, but you can
Okay,
really
so
prep me.
what you should be doing is explaining to us what the amendments to the original application are that we had
Okay.
already approved.
Yeah.
And then we would have questions for you as to
Okay.
the changes.
So
And just so you know, we have copies of your documents
Yep.
that were sent in, so you can.
So basically, most of it's staying the same except for the flat roof above the garages where, due to budgetary reasons, we're getting rid of that. And then using some of the existing windows in the back side of the garage to keep within budget. And that's pretty much it for the changes. Not many.
Okay. I'll open it up for questions.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's actually improved, at least as far as the deck and the flat roof on the garage. I'm not a big fan of the larger windows that you've made. They're really the only thing that's kind of out of proportion with the building.
Is there a specific elevation? that you-
I'm looking at the east side, that's
Elevation.
Yep,
sheet A5.
this is as you're going in towards the school.
Yeah,
So basically, nobody's going to see the windows anyway.
it's
unless
true.
they're-
Well, that's that's why I said I'm just not a fan, not that, that's all.
I think it's fine, and I really think it's wonderful seeing that house being fixed,
Yeah, I can't
since
wait.
I live on the other side.
In looking at a lot of these images, there's some trim features that have been removed on the proposed elevations. And I just wonder if that was done purposefully, or if it was just to
Where are you?
save time. Well, in looking.
Which sheet is
and
same sheet as
This is
A5?
east side, A5. So these trim, these features here.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I don't know what those are called.
Oh, the
But
brackets.
Are those, they're like brackets, and they're removed kind of throughout. Is that actually happening, or? Do you
sorry.
wanna-
You can come
The-
over and take a look.
The eave brackets we're talking about.
So
that-
these throughout, this, and then there's one here, this.
No, that's just probably, he missed it.
In drafting.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I just went through and was,
No, we're gonna
It's kind of
try
like
to keep it
find what
exactly
changed
how
and-
it is, yeah.
okay, all right.
It may seem pedantic, but if I could ask you to repeat to say that you're going to keep that how it is
We're gonna
into the microphone.
keep the brackets how they are.
Okay, because we got people taping in the back. so
Sure.
Thank you.
I have no objection.
I had one question.
Sure.
On the west elevation, which is our A7, it looks like there's a set, it was a set of double windows on the top
Yes,
floor that was being reduced now to one.
because we need to make them egress, because they are now bedrooms. So they were small double windows.
Yep.
We're gonna make them larger, single windows for egress purposes.
So that's a safety feature?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does have a good reference to the proportions of the original windows on the existing house, so. Oh.
Well, I have no questions, and I think it looks just fine.
So should I ask for a motion to accept the amended application as complete? As submitted?
I move that we accept as complete.
Well, do you want to ask if anyone from the public wants some input?
Yeah, well, I was
Well,
going
I
to do
have
that
to do
before
it.
we before we voted for acceptance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is there any other discussion that someone wants to have here? No? Okay, so we'll open this case for any public comment. Anyone would like to make any? Okay, seeing none. I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the amended application for case number, sorry,
23-4.
23-4.
23-4.
Second.
Okay, so move. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay.
Very good.
Yep, we're good.
Thank you.
It's passed. Thank you. Okay, moving on to our second discussion of the evening, which is not officially a case yet, but it's on tax map parcel 72-224-2. Request from Hajar Management for a conceptual review of a proposal for new construction of a mixed-use development at 11 Front Street. The subject property is in the C-1 Central Area Commercial Zoning District. Do we have anybody here representing Hajar Management? Okay.
Mr. Chair, I need to recuse myself. I live and work at the property next door.
Okay, so noted.
Good evening.
You can stay. You
Yeah,
don't
but
have to
you
leave.
just
I'm
can't
going to
vote.
speak to it, so
Oh, okay.
perhaps everybody.
That's fine. Yep, please
Good
introduce
evening.
yourself. Good evening.
I'm Paul Mahoney with Hajar Management. I have with me Chris Hajar from Hajar Management as well. And we're here sort of very much on an informal basis. We hope to come before the board again in the future to talk with really the specifics that you would hope to see, like, the materials and the final design and things like that. But we thought it would make sense to come to you, especially given the fact that this is going to be something that you would care about. It's at 11 Front Street,
Yep.
kind of across the street, and care very deeply about. But this is our hope is that what we can do is get this building to essentially a fourth story. Right? And the reason why we bring this before you, just very candidly, is just we're trying to get the numbers to work on the projects. In order to do it, we were trying to get enough units to make the numbers work. And obviously, we know that the housing demand is there, but we know that we also have to make sure that we are doing things that are suitable for the commission. Okay, so I believe you have the diagrams in front of you that show a depiction. I just want to make sure that you have the appropriate ones in front of you. We have our building as proposed with 44 units. The building as proposed with 44 units would then be about 56 feet in height. Okay, and so what we thought we would do is bring this before you and show it to you sort of in reference to City Hall, so we can give you a little bit of a perspective, and then be able to kind of take some feedback from that to inform our future plans.
You got these two?
Dave, is 50 feet our height limit?
If they go under a mixed-use neighborhood development, then it's 50 feet, 4 stories,
Yeah.
whereas they're proposing 56 feet, 5 stories. So they would need relief for the height and the stories.
Okay,
I'm going to hold on to these until public.
Not from the
comment.
Historic District Commission.
right, from the zoning board.
I hadn't received these.
Evidently, they're keeping you in the
I
dark.
guess. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
and you don't think that's too big?
We don't, but again, it's important to make sure that you folks here are happy with what we're bringing forward. We think that it's going to bring some beautiful quality construction to downtown that's much needed. And we think that it will look very nice in the end. And the projects that we have done in the past, we only do quality, make sure that it looks good. And for people who don't know this would be rentals, so people understand that. And with retail at the base level. This is part of the condominium, so it's got parking underneath as well as some of the parking in the surrounding areas that's related to the condominium. And this is, of course, where the Citizens Bank ATM is now. And Citizens Bank ATM would continue to be part of it in some way, but it would just mean, obviously, some reconfiguration.
Okay.
So you would actually put the ATM in the building?
The ATM, what we would do is we obviously have to continue discussions with citizens to make sure that they are happy with how we do this, because we have to do the final design all together. But ATMs, of course, are not what they were when this was built. And they're a lot more compact now. And so they can be sort of as part of the drive-up lane, as long as you can pull off to the side, because you don't want to, of course, stop traffic flowing between the condo association, the rest of the condo. But you can get it into the side of the building and still service the need that the bank customers need.
So looking at the image that we have in front of us, can you just explain what the features are on the ground level?
Of course. Yeah, and I won't do it with the same eloquence that the architects would do, but they'll do it better next time. But you'll see here on the right and left of the front, of the storefront for the commercial space, okay? And then you will have access for the main building to be able to get upstairs in one of those doors. And then the other one will be an access to the retail spaces. Now, how that configures inside exactly, of course, to be able to get to both, that's still to be determined. And but we, of course, have some concepts for that. And then above that, of course, is brick with a mansard-style roof and balconies looking forward.
So are these they don't look like they're storefront windows, so are these businesses that you would, like an office space or retail?
They
Yeah,
look
this-
storefront to me.
Does that look, it doesn't look, okay. It doesn't to me, but I just,
Those are designed to be storefront, sort of
Display.
typical storefront windows with transoms above.
You had mentioned that it was planned to be retail space.
It would be retail space, correct?
that's what I
Yes.
thought you said.
Okay, now this is the third rail here in Exeter, but if you have 44 apartments, then you've got to have parking for at least 44 cars.
Right.
And where are they going to go?
We have opportunities for parking underneath the building, because you'll see that remember that the retail, it's a little just deceptive on the way this looks when you're looking at just the face, but behind that retail is a great deal of parking, right, under the building. So there's parking there as well as parking around it, because since we're part of a condo association, we do have a total of for this structure, as well as for 154 Water Street, which is our other condominium as part of this complex, we have a total of 58 spots that already exist, never mind what we're going to add underneath. Now, of course, they have to serve both buildings, right? But there is a lot more than what it looks like right here.
I guess. Go ahead, Julie, sorry.
Yeah, just so I'm remembering correctly, the other project that you're talking about where you're going to share parking is the Squamscott block?
Yes, correct, yeah. In Squamscott Block, we just have the one building in the corner,
Right.
right, that is the Citizens Bank and the adjacent businesses, the one that we just renovated. We were before you folks, a year and a half or 2 years ago.
I guess the question, to clarify what my colleague was bringing up, between the two projects and the parking spaces available currently what you see is going to be allocated to the Squamscott building and what's going to be needed for here, do you see this project being parking space neutral in that there's enough that would cover the needs of both buildings?
Yes, we do.
It's not really
We do.
our consideration, to tell you the
Well,
truth.
yes, it is our consideration, because there's going to be X number of cars coming into Exeter. And-
Right.
And we already have some irresponsible people who have built things with no parking. So you were at least trying to do it underneath, and I'm kind of wondering what is underneath there, because I'm thinking there's all kinds of pipes and dig safes type
Oh, yeah.
problems.
There would be, but it's, there's, basically, the building will sit on,
Okay.
on columns, right? And then the front will be, essentially, the front will be filled in with retail space, but the back will be all open.
Okay.
So, yes. And I agree. I think it's a fair question. And obviously, we're looking for height, so, that these things all come together. So I understand that. We're trying to be very upfront with what we're bringing forward.
These balconies, are they actually areas that one would step out onto, or is that just a
I believe,
decorative?
and Chris, maybe, do you remember whether they're flat balconies, or do they have them protruding?
And they're like Juliet
Say again?
balconies.
Juliet balcony.
They don't protrude. Okay, thank you.
So they're Juliet.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking about the material for those white areas where the balconies are?
The material I'm not certain yet. I'm not certain about yet. I'm certain that this group would have an opinion on that. We know that we want to do brick in the front. Obviously, very common and popular right now to do PVC, but there's also other alternatives. There's different panel opportunities, as well as different versions of stucco and things like that that could do the trick. So we're open to materials.
It is just massive, I have to say.
It's a big building.
It is.
And it really dwarfs the town hall.
That was my biggest concern,
Yeah.
was, and it, aside from the variance that you would need for that height, is that, the town hall of Exeter has been described as iconic, and
Yeah.
when you look at the marketing materials on the website, you've got, a great shot over the river, and it stands unobstructed.
Sure.
And this would eliminate that vistage. And I think that's
Yeah.
a concern.
I think if you cut off this top layer, it would look better.
Right.
I know, I can't even imagine what you paid for the land.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I can see why you're cramming them in, but it's just too big.
Okay.
To me, it's too,
No, I have to agree, and it's a hard spot to kind of meld between the church and the town hall and what's
Yes.
across the street.
Yes.
To, not stand out as, I'm brand new, but it's going to have to, I think, at some point. But I agree with the height issue. I really, even though the cupola on the top of the town hall and Lady Justice are still up there in view, it just, coming out of this building, I'm going to look at the two and say, oh, that one, and not notice the town hall as much, I guess.
And I believe the architect's attempt was to vary the materials by doing that, the mansard style, to be able to sort of try to take some of that massing away, because but I respect your opinions.
well, we've got a lot of other people here.
Yeah. Are we done with discussions here?
I'd love to hear what the public.
Okay, so we're going to open it up to public comment. Before we take anybody at the microphone, I'll just read a couple of letters that were sent in to the record. from Joseph Balarjian.
Elijah, yeah.
Malajan. Barb, I hope you can get this to the correct people. If we want to keep Exeter Historic District intact, the only building that should be put there is a duplicate of the historic courthouse that used to occupy that property. And
That would be hard.
It'd be nice, but hard.
from Elliot Berkowitz, that was addressed to Russell Dean, our town manager. Dear Russell, hope this finds you well. I was informed today that a new building is being proposed for the property known as 11 Front Street, and I'm out of town until the first week of May and unable to attend any meetings prior to then. Nobody in town is happier than I am to see buildings renovated, restored, or new buildings going up in the downtown area as long as they fit in and are an asset to the surrounding area. My initial reaction is that the proposed building is very large and looks out of place compared to our old town hall right next door. Please pass this on to the heads of committees that will be evaluating this proposal in the next few weeks. Okay, and now we'll take comment at the microphone. Sure.
So I'm E.C. Heath. I live at 12 Center Street, which backs up and we'll look into the back of the apartments, but I'm the pastor at the neighboring church. We found out about this. We weren't notified, and I understand legally we didn't need to be for this, but I found out because I'm on the committee, and I got these plans. And I wish we'd sort of been able to talk before now, because there are some concerning pieces. It's a very close lot line. We're out there with the blueprints today, and with the church, it's almost a zero lot line with parts of the church building. We have a working burial ground right over that line that we have funeral services at. And so it's hard because it is between two historic buildings, but two historic buildings that still serve a lot of our town. And there are practical considerations as well as aesthetic ones. The size, of course, is one. The interruption of the iconic view as you come around by the bandstand is another. I know that we've talked about parking. I know people don't think we have a parking issue, but living on that block, I can tell you we have a parking issue because people run out of parking and park in our church driveway all the time. The municipal lot that's across from the parsonage is filled all day with postal employees. When the condos are built at the Baptist church, it's going to be filled with those cars as well. There's not much parking to be had even on Sunday mornings when we have church. And so now we're adding 44 apartments to the mix. I certainly don't want to be a naysayer. I think we need more workforce housing in town. Looking at your Boston holdings, I did look on your website. They are rather pricey, the rent. And, that's not even an issue here, but it does worry me that a lot of good people are going to get priced out. So I just want to bring this up. I know others have other things to say as well, but as a neighbor, I'm concerned on both aesthetic, historical, and practical reasons. And as someone who cares about downtown, I just think we're asking for too much traffic in an already overparked area. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Would anybody else like to speak? Okay, please come on up.
My name is Chris Scales. I'm a resident of Exeter, and I've recently moved downtown. And I'm the moderator of this church, the Congregational Church. And my concerns, like M's, are related to parking. When I look at I wasn't aware of your other property, so I'm not sure of the numbers, but with the 31 spaces that you have proposed, following the Exeter ordinance guidelines, you'd require 71, plus 6 more for retail, so 77 spaces compared to your 31. And the recent town parking and traffic study, if you follow the Institute of Transportation Engineers requirements, you'd still need 57 spaces. And this morning when I walked over, the spaces that are currently in that lot, 3 of them are reserved for the finance department here in town. 2 of them are handicapped, there are 4 public two-hour spots. 3 are reserved for the Soleil Salt Caves, 2 for the SAA Gallery, 1 for maintenance, 2 for Czar's Brewery, and 6 are reserved. I presume that's for Citizens Bank. So that's 23 that are reserved. And in my mind, that is a wonderful balance of retail, government, which get used during the week and during the day, and church, which gets used on the weekend, on Sunday mornings. And that church building has been there since 1798. And as Em noted, the lot line is really tight. We have 4 parking spaces in our driveway and more than 100 parishioners who come to church on Sunday mornings. And those parishioners are not all spry and young like I am. And so they need to park close by. And while maybe someone who's handicapped wouldn't park there, there are 23 spaces that, if this project is constructed, will disappear from the inventory in town. So the Salt Cave and Czar's Brewery and the SAA Gallery and the town finance department all need somewhere else to park during the week. And then those spots are full on Sunday mornings when people are sleeping instead of coming to church. So we lose access to them. And today, we have access to them. With the 31 spaces, again, I don't know about your other property and where those parking spaces go, but in the winter when there's a parking ban, where do all these folks who park in that lot today go when they can't park in that lot when it's snowing and during the winter? So even without a parking waiver, this would have a negative impact on the church with our parking on Sunday mornings. And if a waiver were to be granted, then so if you were to be able to create more parking and for meeting the requirements, we'd still lose them for the church. But if there is a waiver, then it's worse because there's fewer spaces in town. So I don't have any particular opinion about the aesthetics, but the parking bothers me a lot. And I don't know if this is the right venue for that, but I sure hope it's considered in the approval process for this project. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to come up and speak? Okay.
My name is Dave Montgomery. I live at 1 Holly Courts. I've been a resident of Exeter for 28 years. I'm also a member of the Congregational Church. I'm not speaking on behalf of the church tonight. So I have 3 concerns as I look at the proposal. The first one is the size of it, which the board brought up and Pastor M brought up as well. And I understand that we're trying, the developer's trying to make it big enough for their numbers to work. However, I feel like it would dominate that area. And when I think about Exeter, if we were to close our eyes and think of the symbol, we would think of the bandstand, but we would also think of the town hall and the flag and that view that's down Front Street and up Water Street. And I think just the size of this creates a problem. To paraphrase Socrates, the only thing I know about architecture is that I know nothing. I'm a retired grocery salesman, so I will leave that to the experts. But I wish aesthetically this building would work a little better as it goes up Water Street. I don't know how to do that, but I've looked on your website and I've seen how you've done that in other projects. I looked at the project that Hidden Fall River, and I know that was a renovation, but that we can make that work. And I also looked at the architect's website, and I can see that they have made it work in other areas. So again, I know nothing about architecture, but I have some concerns aesthetically. My third concern would be the traffic and the parking. So we already have congestion. Last night I tried to get into town at 5 o'clock, and I come out of Folsom Street and come down High Street, and I'm backed up to the hospital, and everybody's trying to get through that bottleneck of downtown. And this is going to make that worse. As Chris mentioned, parking is an issue already. And so this is just going to exacerbate that problem. So those are my three concerns. I ask the board to consider those as well. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Sally Oxnard. I've lived here since the 70s. I can't think when. I just wanted to speak to the argument that we need more housing in Exeter. Please let's not feel pressured to put in more million-dollar condos and more top-of-the-line rental apartments. Let's look at what we're putting in recently in Exeter, right? There's the Exeter Gateway on Epping Road. I don't know how many units that is, but it's a lot. There's the Wilson development across the street from the Academy. That's a number of units. There's the unit that's going in beside Main Street School. That's going to be condos. There's that development on the Exeter Stratham Town line that Stratham has approved. There's a lot of new housing coming in. So I can't say about their investment and what they want to do with it. I don't want to feel pressured or you to feel pressured to put in more top-of-the-line living apartments at a high rate of speed. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up.
My name is Lynn Monroe. I'm actually a resident of Kensington, but I'm a member of the Exeter Congregational Church. Is it all right that I speak?
Do we
Do that by, no, just consensus of the commission.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Please continue.
In fairness in advertising, I'm also an historic preservation consultant and have lived in Exeter and Kensington for about 40 years, and I'm very fond of this place. And I'm concerned about this for ever so many reasons. But one particularly interesting thing, I spent the afternoon in the Historical Society tracing things down with Barbara Rumkunis, and it was really fascinating to study how the sites evolved from two residences, and interestingly, the Tenney House, which was designed by Ebenezer Clifford, the same architect who was the primary architect on the church. The church predated it, and then that, and there were two residences, and then came the town hall, and then the courthouse after time. And after that happened, and I forgot to bring glasses, but here, this is one of Barbara's articles, but there's this wonderful sentence that says, and this is referring to the courthouse. The building gave the downtown an undisturbed line of respectable edifices that stretched along Front Street from Court Street to Water, balancing the federal houses that stood on the opposite side of the street. It was like a healthy smile. Respectfully, I'm not quite sure this new building does complete it with the same satisfactory result. I could criticize that, but perhaps it's not the time. It is oversized and, quite frankly, sort of unimaginative and doesn't bring much to the place. We're extremely concerned, though, about its proximity to the church and the fact that it blocks the church in many sight lines from many places. And those are the important iconic parts of the district. You know, this center area. Also, I noted that it's introducing commercial space into the residential and civic Front Street district, which doesn't have commercial space. It isn't in Waters. Anyway, I think that's something at least for discussion. But as we walked around the church today, there are parts where the lot lines, the building is like 2 feet from the corner of the church, and the church is, going to be the cemetery part of the church. We're going to be looking right into everybody's windows, and they're into ours, and it seems disrespectful, which is perhaps not the right word, but it is the right word. And I could think more, but I recommend deep and careful thinking and great courage.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak on the issue? No? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to thank the folks from Hajar Management for the presentation. I know you came here to gather information. Is there anything you'd like to come up and ask us before the subject is closed?
I don't think so. I just wanted to thank you. I really appreciate all the feedback, and I know that, we like to come typically more prepared and more complete, but I think there's sometimes it makes sense to just kind of see where people stand on things, and that's what we've done, and I really appreciate the feedback from everybody.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you taking the time
Thank
to.
you.
I have a couple more comments.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is a work session, so to add to what I've heard from the public also is that part of this is the breakdown of the facade is not apparent. I know you have a recessed area. You can't tell. It looks very flat. And so that I recommend you get some more depth there.
Okay.
And also, there's not a whole lot of detail on it. It's very simple. And when you're sitting next to the town hall and even the church, which is as simple as the Congregationalists were, it still has a detailed feeling to it. We have the height issue. I am concerned about the totally maximizing of the site. I understand why you're doing it, but, I've heard the parking concerns and the adjacency concerns. This is all going to affect how much you put into it, but these are things that I recommend you consider. Shorter, maybe narrower. Smaller. Just smaller, yeah, and with a little bit more variety in the definition of it.
Yes, and I think for me to be fair to the architects, I think they would also want to take more time because they're trying to really, they're starting with a block, right, and saying, okay, here, let's see how everything fits, and then add some detail, but I haven't given them an opportunity to really take that to the next level. So,
That's it.
Okay.
thanks
Thank you
again.
very much.
Okay.
And thank you all for coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure they must have told you that.
So I guess we move on to
Cemetery went all over.
approving previous minutes.
Oh, yeah, they're still there, too.
You want to wait till
Or just ask them.
Thank you.
Nobody thought to write down the name.
It's terrible. Believe me, my ancestors are probably in there.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're going to. Yep, thank you. Move on to approval of minutes from, looks like September 21st.
Well, I would think they would have aged up into,
They have aged out.
yeah.
I think we give it, 3?
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a couple of spelling errors, but I think we can let them go over at this point.
Okay, so we don't even need to vote to,
I don't think so. I
Approve
think
it.
that we've made what's the word I want? Procedure, not procedure, but practice. I can't remember even if the select board, the select board did it, and if they're not approved in
a
three
certain amount of time. It's
Four
just,
months, I
meetings, then
believe it
they're
was, yeah.
they're just considered
So that
adopted.
they-
Sort
Okay.
of, sort of like a pocket veto,
Yep.
Okay,
or an unsigned bill, rather.
there you go.
Okay, is there any other business that anyone on the committee would like to bring up?
No, it's just nice to see everybody and to welcome
For a long time.
Yeah.
and welcome him.
And welcome to you.
Thank you. I'm sorry to have to recuse during the first meeting.
No, I'm glad you said that.
That's all right. We had one meeting where Kevin was in a butter to one project and I was in a butter to the
Oh, gosh, yeah.
other project.
My home was actually in their photo.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Kind of fun.
So did you get one of these to sign for,
I did.
okay,
I did.
all right,
Okay, so
we're good.
seeing no further discussion, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, everybody good? Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Adjourned at 7:42.
excellent.
And I just got all
Thank you
that
for
material
tuning in
right here.
to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.